so everyone knows exactly who you are. Please introduce yourself to everybody listening to The Beat London right now.
Hi, my name is Siobhan Elouise, aka The Neon Soul. I am a singer-songwriter from West London. I am a R&B, neo-soul, jazz type singer, genre blurring, as they like to describe me.
They don't, but yeah.
They do.
Okay.
It's just you who are a hater.
Okay.
He wants to be me so bad, people. He does. Yeah, that's me.
I'll just wait until I can press the button.
The only job you're good for.
Siobhan's in the building. Glad to finally have you here, Siobhan. It's been a long time since we've done an interview. We've done one interview before, right? Did we not do an interview?
I don't think we actually have, you know.
No, we did. I'm
No.
sure.
Oh, wait.
At the other place, I'm sure we did. We did.
I think you interviewed Nash. I think you interviewed Boy Nash.
Oh, when you were there.
And I was there.
Oh, but we didn't do an interview.
No, and I've been in the studio while you were doing radio, but we've not done the interview.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've never actually done an interview, yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I actually didn't even know that.
No, we've never actually done one.
Well, Siobhan, you're here now. So, all right. So, we know that you are a...
Because you stalked me for years, so...
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. So, we know you're an artist, independent artist, neon soul, all that good stuff. So, it's always good to go back to the start. How did it start for you, Siobhan? How did you get started in music? What was your inspirations as a female growing up? Were you listening to music from a young age, or who did you copy? Was there a friend of yours that was singing? You thought, I can do that? Like, what? How did it start for you?
Wow, it started by actually writing poetry.
Okay.
So I started actually writing poetry from a really young age, probably about 6-7 years old. Got to around 9, was writing poems, bringing them into my English class. My teacher was like, this is great.
Got to around 9. What does that mean?
About around 9 years old.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
And then I started bringing my poems in and stuff like that. And my teacher was like, this is actually really good. And I started reading the other people's things in class and realizing that they weren't using the same type of words as me. And I was like, how did I even know that word? Do you know what I mean? And then it kind of started out like that, and then went into me singing because of my dad. Definitely because of my dad. My parents, he's a massive sound man. We had a whole room in our house dedicated to just music, literally floor to ceiling records, CDs. That's all we had in that room, and sound systems. My dad's Jamaican, so you can picture it.
All right, cool. But that's your poetry. So how did you actually get started singing?
Because I started I'd hear things on the radio, and I'd be putting in the tape, recording it, stopping.
These lot, again, but they won't know, they won't understand.
You said, oh, that's crazy.
The sellotape on the top corner, they don't know.
I don't know about sellotape on the top corner.
You don't know about the sellotape on the top corner?
No.
Recording it on a cassette tape? Yeah? Recording it on a cassette tape?
Yeah.
You were recording on a cassette tape, right?
Yeah.
An actual cassette tape?
Yeah.
Where if the tape came out, you put this pencil in and you
Yeah.
wind. Okay, cool. So how did you protect your tapes from not being recorded over? So was it?
Oh wow, there's something I don't know. We just didn't really.
You
think
didn't
of
know
that.
this? Okay, well,
No.
it's pointless information now. But if you had a tape and you
Yeah.
recorded, you press play and record at the same time.
Yeah.
It records on the tape, right?
Yeah.
So if you've got a tape and you've recorded whatever you've recorded and it's your favorite tape of all time, and I take that tape and thought, oh, what's this tape? It's got no label on it, and I put it in and I press play and record.
Yeah. It's gonna erase.
It's gonna erase. You didn't know you can protect your tape from that.
No, I didn't know
So on
that.
the top of your tape, there's these little squares, these little tiny squares on the top corner.
Yeah, I remember those.
And if you pull those off,
Yeah.
you can't record over the tape.
What?
I can't believe you didn't know this. What is going on?
Okay, can we just take a moment to realize that that's because I'm not, in fact, as old as you.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because were you using that contraption? Yes, you were. So therefore, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So yeah, so you do that. And so what people used to do,
didn't know
they
that.
pull those little squares off, and so therefore no one could say if I took that tape and tried to, it wouldn't, the buttons wouldn't move
Oh my
in.
god, I never knew that.
But if you wanted to record over it, you still could, because then you get. So obviously there's a gap where the square was, because
Yeah.
you peeled it off. So all you do is you put a bit of sellotape over it, and then it thinks that there's something protecting it there.
Why
so
am I
therefore
really going to go home and try and find a tape?
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't know this.
What? No, I actually didn't know that.
Well, this is fantastic information for anybody going back into the
time.
1980s or whatever.
Thank you, Marty.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
God.
Anyone with a DeLorean, like if you're going back, you're gonna love me for that. But yeah, I can't believe you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Okay,
but
well-
I used to literally sit down and
Yeah.
record. A lot of my biggest influences were obviously I was all over the Spice Girls. Who could chat to me?
Mm-hmm.
Then Mel B went.
Were you Mel
obviously-
B?
Of course I was Mel
Were you
B.
wearing the leopard print?
Of course I was Mel B.
Hilarious.
She was literally the only black one. I went to fancy dress the other day as Mel B. Actually, I'm gonna get the photo up and maybe you can insert it on the radio. It's quite fun.
Mad. Go on.
But yeah, I used to do that, and I remember she did a song called Butterfly, and I remember listening to it on the radio and sitting there and recording it, stopping, and then I used to sit down with a pen and paper before we had the old access to print out every minute, and start and write the line down, start, write the line down, stop, and that's how I'd learn words to the songs.
Fair enough.
So that's how I started, and then one day I was in my room and I'd be singing through stuff. Like, let me try and sing it. And I'd sing through something and I was like, oh my god, I've actually got a bit of a voice here. Like,
you use it to yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is a bit. It felt good. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Then from that, my parents always encouraged creativity, so I'd be put on like full blown shows for my parents. And they'd sit there
really?
and watch, like full blown productions.
And the family come around and he's like,
Siobhan? Literally, my house is always full of families. So there's always like, I've got 11 sisters, 4 brothers. So someone's always there to watch. We would just thrive in the creativity. And then my mum was like, okay, let's push you into like choirs and school things. Because back then, yes, I went to church. But my grandmother's Jamaican. You can't sing up and down, so you have to sing it straight. You get me? You can't sing with no riffs and riffs. You don't want to hear that.
Yeah. But in black church, that's exactly what you do. There's
No, of course. But
riffs.
but my grandmother was,
she wasn't about
was
that
the
life.
main.
Yeah,
My grandmother
okay.
was at the front of the church with the white hat.
Yeah, properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, we're singing for the Lord, innit? Let's not play them games.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
That's how I started.
All right. So then you noticed, and then obviously your mum and your dad, they saw the talent. At school, were you going to school singing along? How did you have your little voice note on your phone? Hi, it's Siobhan Elouise. Leave a message. Did you have all that going on?
Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I used to actually do that, funnily enough, to wake myself up in the morning. Not singing, but I'd leave myself a message. It's quite nerdy. I can't believe I'm gonna admit this on air. But I used to actually leave myself do my like affirmation alarms. So it'd wake up in the morning. It would be me saying like, "Good morning, Siobhan. You're waking up. You know, in your best space."
So you recorded it the night before.
Yeah.
And then it
however I want to feel, absolutely. And it was great. And I woke up every day feeling great, going to a job that I hated, but I felt great on the way.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so I used to walk. I remember walking home. I remember the actual moment when I realized I wanted to pursue singing. I think I was about 14 and I was walking home from school and I was practicing a song by 702. You'll just never know, put it off till tomorrow today. You don't remember that song?
No.
Big tune, what?
No.
If you know about that tune, call in. Right? And I was sat and I was walking along the thing and I was singing it. So I said, let me stop. And I stopped by a pole and I sang it to myself. And I hit the note that I couldn't hit before. And I was like, oh my God. I can sing. And then from there I went home, I was like, Mum, we're doing talent shows, we're doing this, we're doing that. My mum was like, all right, let's go. And she put me in everything. So from school, but also like the local town. So, you know, like in the town, they used to have this thing where I live in Uxbridge, like a local talent show for the children. They put it out in the big Chime Centre, do the stage, and it was amazing. And that was my first like time.
Did all your little friends from the area come and watch you?
Yeah, and everything. And my mum, she had my dad on the phone. My dad was at work, so she used and my brother. So she had my dad on one phone holding it up, and my brother on the other phone holding it up, and her and my auntie was standing there holding the phones in the air while I sang.
So you said that you got 11 brothers and sisters.
11 sisters.
Oh, just 11 sisters.
Yeah.
Crazy. And how many brothers?
On the last count.
Oh my gosh.
One's my god sister.
I'm not even going to delve into that too much. That's crazy numbers.
Yeah.
How many of them can sing?
A couple of us, you know. So I think my cousin can sing. Levine, my cousin, shout out to her. Even though we always try and get her on the mic, she can hold a note. My sister Kyra. I think all of us I can't say all of us can hold a note. Bless my sisters, I love them, but boy, you got to do silent backup dances, girls. I think maybe about 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your mum and dad?
My mum can sing.
Yeah.
She used to be able to have a beautiful voice. Back before she started smoking and all that good stuff, but she can still hold a note now.
Yeah.
I think my cousins. I've got singers in my family. Like my cousin does a Whitney Houston tribute. She's insane. It's funny because we both got booked for the same bar and didn't know until we walked in. Who was like, oh my God. And we said to the owners, that's Soul Bar in Rising. I was like, that's my cousin. Yeah. But yeah, so.
But had you sung with her before that?
No,
okay.
Never.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah, that was amazing. So.
All right. So family, talented vocalist.
Orientated.
Cool. Dad was a DJ.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Sound man.
Right, come on. And so moving forward, you decided, you know what, you're going to pursue this. You're going to go through the motions and doing what you have to do. my thing with you, so I met you, what's it, about 5, 6, 7 years ago? How long has it been? It's been a while now.
Yeah, maybe about 2 years before COVID.
But 2 years before COVID. And so you were performing at...
The Fiddler's Elbow with...
Wow, what a memory.
Yeah, okay. I know, right? The Fiddler's Elbow with...
Vibes With Us it was, wasn't it?
Vibes With Us. It was Vibes With Us. And
yeah.
it was a competition
yeah.
with Grime Daily. There was Levels. There was a competition with all of the different event companies.
Okay.
To see
I really don't remember none
what
of this,
one you're going to sing at.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
And then did you win that?
I did a clean sweep.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Okay.
I still got the footage.
Okay.
I think the only one I didn't get was, I think it was Grime Daily. I'm not a grime artist.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
So,
cool.
yeah.
But my thing with you is always it's been such a long process for you to get going, because I met you then, clean sweep. So regardless of you won or not, because I couldn't remember, but obviously you did. It was obvious that you were good. And I've always said to you, okay, we need you to do more, like what's going on, where's the music? And then it took until you released Body on You in what year?
2023.
2023. So with you, like, and I understand with artists that want to hone their craft and then work on themselves and whatever. So what is with you that you've been so slow, I'm going to say the word so slow, in coming forward with new music, when people that you've met, and I'm sure it's not just me, I've said, Siobhan, where's the music? What's going on? What are you doing? Whatever. And then we're still waiting and waiting and waiting. Why?
So I think it's got a lot to do with sort of just not thinking I was ready, just nerves in myself, not feeling like I was ready and things like this. And also I have lived on my own since I was 16. So I've come over and I've just been trying to do life, to be honest with you, just trying to survive. I did put myself into music college and all those things, and then life took over. I had to get a job, I had to pay rent and bills. So I've always been involved in music in some way, shape or form though. I've done hundreds and hundreds of shows across London and around the world. I think it took me a minute to be confident enough to get all of the bits together. And then when I did, in terms of like writing a song, it was something over an instrumental from YouTube. Then I had to learn to navigate my way through, okay, you can't just use this song from YouTube and release it. Now you have to now go into a different avenue and find a producer who can reproduce the beat because you've already written it. So now I had to go into a new avenue of finding a producer who can remake that within the remits of the legalities of what it needs to do, alongside finding out all of that stuff alongside it. And just feeling like I just wasn't ready. I feel like everything in its time. I had a lot of self-confidence issues and things like that. Everybody my whole life has been telling me, same as you did, you got something special here, well, you need to do something. Everyone's, where's the album? And I hadn't even released one song. I'm you lot don't need an album. What do you need an album for? No one knows who I am, right?
But it's true, it's a real thing. So like people suffer with what they call imposter syndrome.
Absolutely.
So, and I think even to myself, I in my own little way suffer with that as well. So how did you get over that? At what point, or what was it that happened that you said, you know what, actually, I got this?
I think,
or are you still suffering?
Who is I'm saying is, as you said, is with the imposter syndrome, and I will talk about that in a minute as well, coming on to the fact of being in the Mobile Unsung group at the moment. But I think because I had so much of life going on as well, and just trying to survive as a young woman in this world, and keep myself, on track and on the path. Everyone's telling me you're so great, but I'm also seeing a lot of people around me who to me are like, oh my God, you've got it patterned, you've got a team, you've got everything around you, you've got, all of this going for you, you've got managers and people helping you to style and do this and do that. I don't have none of that. I've just got my brain and a dream. And so that's why it made me feel kind of like, okay, imposter syndrome, and still does at a time like this now. I think what helped me get to the point of realizing that is just the progression, the recognition of it, the things of what I'm doing, and obviously we're going to get onto that and stuff like that, but just seeing that when you're in that space, like you literally cannot deny it. Like if you hang a piece of artwork and I say, okay, it's worth $1 million, you can say it's worth $1 million all day. When people start walking in and paying $1 million for it, then you have to believe it. And that's where I'm at. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I hear it. No, so I've got the same sort of thing. So there's some things that I do that I'm surrounded by people that are so good at it.
Yeah.
And if I'm not their level, then I'm not good enough.
You think, what are you doing here?
But then you see other people that aren't half as good as what you do, flying.
And this is what I say to anybody listening, and this is one of my things that I've been telling myself over and over again recently in this big surge of, momentum I've had. and what, as you've seen in the past couple of years, me really pull my finger out, is because there are people out there in the most respectful manner with half my talent doing twice the work, and they are 3 times further. And I cannot sit here.
Self-belief is a big thing.
I promise you, and that's what changed.
Sometimes it will take you further than talent.
That's what changed in me.
Yeah.
My self-belief changed. I remember the moment, and it was a So Far Sounds, shout out to you guys, that I did. And I came off that stage, and and that was the day when I remember feeling like, if Erykah Badu was to ask me right now to open for her with my band, I don't even need to pack a bag, I'm getting on the plane. Yeah. If you had asked me that a year ago, I would have said, oh my God, no way, I'm not ready, I need to do this. If you ask me right now and say Erykah Badu's outside, are you alright? I'm shelling it. I'm opening it, I'm shelling it. And that is the self-belief that changed.
But what happened? What was what flicked that switch?
What flicked that switch is realizing that, I'll be honest with you, since I was about 15 years old, not even that, less like earlier than that, I've always felt like I was meant for something more. I can't explain that feeling. I can't explain what it is.
I get that. But what was the
But the thing that changed it was realizing that I actually have all of the talent to be able to do that. So when I released Body on You, I think that was the catalyst for it, releasing Body on You, because the response that I got for it, even though it's not doing crazy numbers right now,
it was a good response.
The response I got for it was insane. You know, I've got people who are literally 2-3 time Billboard topping artists coming to me saying, I want to be on that song. And I was like, okay, I can't deny anything now.
Okay, so leading up to Body on You, we were still in the phase where you're not necessarily believing in yourself, taking very long to release music, not releasing music. You finally released that song. Why do you think at that point, why do you think, you know what, now's the time, as opposed to 6 months before or a year before? Why do you think, you know what, now's the time, I'm releasing it?
And you know what's mad about that? I recorded a song called LA Nights that I had and Bonnie and Hyde. I recorded a song called Bonnie and Hyde that I had ready to release, and I sat down and I started streaming on the streaming website, and I wrote Body on You live on the live channel, knocked it out, and it was a vibe, and I was like, this is cold. I think this is gonna be my first release. I'd never sung a song like that before, the content and whatnot. Maybe one back in the day, but I was like, this is a vibe, I'm gonna release it. I was sick to death of telling myself I'm gonna do this year and not doing it. I was sick to death of telling myself I'm gonna make this happen and not making it happen. I was tired. I said I can't let another year pass and I don't do it. So when that song came across me, I said I'm releasing it. I didn't know anything. I went on, I said, what do I need to do? DistroKid, boom. Didn't even research it. I was like, boom, everyone's doing research. Take my money, put it out. I just take it and put it out. I have to. I cannot let another year pass. And I made a promise to myself that year I was gonna pass my driving test, release my first song, and do something else and travel. And I did all those 3 things.
Jeez, come on. So you released that song, Body on You, did really well, good response. A few years went by. What year was that? 2023, did you say?
Yeah.
23. A few years went by. You've now released a remix to that, featuring
Mr. Robert Curry from Day 26. My guy.
How did you get him on a single?
Well, this is what I'm saying. So I was on, it was mad because also always be in the room. People, if you're listening, always be in the room. That is where the opportunities are. Yep. I was in my bed at about 3:30 in the morning. My friend from a streaming website, I'm on a streaming site called Bigo. Everybody knows me on there as a singer. He phoned my phone, this guy Jay, and he said to me, I want you to come sing for my friend real quick. I was like, I'm in my bed, I'm baking off. You know what I mean? It's 3 a.m. Like, I'm baking off. I'm chilling out, right? Chilling out. Yeah. And then it was warm. Yeah. I was baking. Yeah. And then I was chilling out, and then he said,
in the oven, bacon.
Literally baking.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, cool. So I got up. I said, all right, let me do it then. So I got up and I literally switched on my whole studio, set it up, because I don't like to do something half-hearted. And if I'm going to do it, let's do it. So I went on there, didn't know who he was bringing me to, had no idea. Didn't even know when I got in the room. Wasn't looking at the guy. It's 2:00 in the morning. I'm thinking, light-skinned guy from America, he's great. He sings. That was like, he was running a competition for features, but somebody had already won. So they were just winding down the show. Okay. So I went on, and then I jumped up in the box. He said sing. So I jumped up in the box and I sang a song. He goes, you got to sing an original. And I sang Body on You. And he was like, yo, he's like, let's reconfigure. And I'm going to get back to you and see what's going on.
I didn't know none of this, you know?
Yeah, I know you don't.
I didn't know, yeah.
So he's like, so let's reconfigure and see what's happening, because I need to be on that song. Yeah. Robert said to me, I need to be on this song. Somebody had already won the competition for the feature.
But he didn't care. That's them.
He
Yeah,
said,
something else.
that's
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
He said, we're winding
Yeah.
down that. He said, whatever this is and whatever tune that is, I need to get involved in this. So I was like, all right, cool. I hadn't even recorded Body on You at this point. I had just finished doing the demo. I hadn't even recorded it. So I said, all right, when I record it, I'll obviously get it over to you and whatever with the thing. I sent it over to him. Within a couple hours, or I think within a day, he had his verse back to me.
Wicked.
So I'm going to leave you 16 bars for you. He had his verse back to me.
Yeah.
When I took it back and I played it, I said, yo, this is a problem. I was like, is this what we've done? We was on the phone chopping it up. I said, this is a problem. Sent it back to me, bam. He's like, I resonate with this. I love it. So he's on the phone chopping it up. And then I kept it. And I sat on that song for 2 years. Well, for a year and a half.
Oh, so it's that far back?
Yeah, I sat on the song for a year and a half.
Okay.
He did, when I'm telling you, I hadn't even released Body on You. So
Of
when
course,
I won the
yeah,
competition,
okay,
Body on You wasn't even released.
Wow, okay.
So I released Body on You probably 3-4 weeks later.
Okay.
Maybe a month later, do you know what I mean? And then we had already had the remix.
So I always say to people, all music's new music to anyone
To
who hasn't heard it.
And you know, that's one thing that you told me years ago that I've never forgotten.
See what I mean?
That's
I
one
can't
thing that you told me.
drop in gems,
That's the one
The
gem.
one- the
Everything
only
else
thing,
you say, absolute mess.
As long as there's one.
There's that-
as long as
this
there's
one thing,
I'll do.
Because you know what? A broken clock is right twice
Twice
a day.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is. All right. Cool. Well, I've got my one. I've got another one coming.
Too, right. You're due for a next one.
Fair.
So that's how that happened. It was crazy because I was sitting on it for 2 years. Again, holding myself back because I was like, I wanted to do this right. I was like, I've only released one song before. This is a very big artist I've got on the track.
Yeah.
He's very well, respected in the music community. His vocal ability is insane. And I wanted to have enough funds to push it.
Sure.
That's also what's held me back. Funding. It's not easy.
Yep, definitely.
living this life.
Yeah.
So you have to look rich, trying to be rich
Yeah.
on the way to get rich,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely,
everything
yeah.
comes for free
Fake
when
it
you
till
can
you make
afford
it.
it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. So,
So what? So that song's been released now. But what other stuff have you got going on? So I know you got lots of stuff going on that you want to talk to people about. You spoke about the live streaming that you do.
Yeah.
You spoke about sofa sounds.
Yeah.
So those are things that you've been doing for a while.
Yeah.
So just quickly, let us know, what's this live streaming thing? Just quickly.
So live streaming, I'm on a lot of platforms, including TikTok. Make sure you follow me. TikTok, Bigo, Super Live. I do live streaming content creation, and I do things like Sunday sessions. I'll do things like soulful sessions where I sing all Sunday songs on like maybe old school reggae songs on a Sunday or something while I'm cleaning and stuff. I'll do different soul sessions where I have an hour concert. I'm also on lounges. So on Bigo is the one I've been on the longest, and they're the one that I went to Singapore with for their gala to perform.
And the sofa sounds that you do?
Sofa Sounds, again, amazing. I've been with them for about 4 or 5 years now. And I do them all over London, everywhere. Shout out to the Sofa team.
Let's talk Mobos.
Let's talk Mobos.
So for people that don't know, what's your involvement in the Mobos?
I am part of the Mobo Unsung class of 2025.
Jeez, come on.
So your girl has been selected as the future of R&B music in the UK by obviously the leading
and beyond
by obviously the leading organization that pioneers for black music in the UK. So it is an extremely proud thing for me to be a part of. I'm not gonna lie.
How have you found it?
Phenomenal. It's really I am now, as you can see, the trajectory has just gone mad. It's just gone mad. But I feel like it's forcing me into submission, into being the artist that I need to be. It's forcing me into getting my ducks in a row.
For people that don't know, how do you get involved in Mobo's Unsung in the first place? Before you even get selected?
Before you even get that whole process. So before you even get selected for it, people ask me, and for me, I was like, oh, it was an easy process. It's not easy, you know what I mean? But for me, it was like, kind of just went through it.
Because you're Siobhan Elouise, come on.
No, not even. For me, I kind of went through. I can only speak from my own experience. Get it?
Yeah.
So, and even then I didn't think I would have a chance because again, I've only released one song. I've not put out any visuals, and there are millions of people who are doing so much better than me. But again, I'm so glad that I pushed through that and removed that self-doubt. I went on and simply applied for it. So 2 people sent it to me. I think, did you not send it?
I might have, I can't remember.
A few people sent it to me.
I don't know.
2 or 3 people sent it to me, the application form. One of them being Wisdom, who is the head of artist relations over there at Mobo Unsung. Amazing mentor and guide. So he sent it over to me and a couple other people as well. He had sent it to me when I'd already been filling it out though, but he had just sent it to me. So I sent it off, and then we went through the process of them obviously narrowing it down from 400 people down to 30. I believe I then had an phone call interview.
Okay.
And it narrowed it down to 20.
Okay.
Then we went for the live audition at Pizza Express in London.
Yep.
And then that's when we got narrowed down to the 10.
Wicked.
That was like 3 days before I went to Singapore.
And you've enjoyed the process so far?
Phenomenal.
And then, so you've got some lots of going on now. So in terms of performances and stuff, let us know some of the performances that you'll be taking part in.
So my first performance is going to be, my first festival of the year is going to be South by Southwest on the 6th of June. Bum, bum, bum. Sound effect. And then I'm actually ridiculously proud to announce, which I haven't actually announced it openly yet, that I will be doing not one, not two, not even three Mr. Lukan Online, but 4 stages.
Come on.
At Glastonbury Festival.
Come on. Let them know.
And I've only released 1 song. Let me not even talk too much.
Mad,
That's crazy. But yeah, I'll be doing 4 stages at Glastonbury. I can't believe it.
Wicked.
Yeah.
So people that want to follow you and follow your journey, where do they go to? How do they find you on the socials and all that stuff?
So it is Siobhan Elouise across all platforms except for TikTok is Siobhan Elouise Music. It is spelt Siobhan. If you have to say Siobhan to spell it out, say it. Just don't say it out loud.
And we're going to get a live performance from you in the next segment of the show. But for now, for those who haven't heard Body on You so far, we're going to play Body on You, the remix featuring who?
Robert Curry.